When did you realize your roommate was living a double life? I found out when Brett's mother called asking for him, while his actual mother was sitting in our living room having tea with him. Hi, is Brett available? This is his mother, Sandra. I looked at Brett's mom, Linda, who was mid-sentence about his childhood allergies. Brett? Someone claiming to be your mom is on the phone? His face went white. He grabbed the phone and ran to his room. Linda looked confused. Who's pretending to be me? 20 minutes later, Brett came out looking defeated. So, I may have two families who both think I'm their son. What? Turns out Brett had been living as two different people for 6 years. During college, he'd started tutoring this wealthy family's son, who looked exactly like him. When the kid died in a car accident, the grieving parents begged Brett to visit sometimes, just to ease their pain. They'd pay him, but it escalated. He became their son every weekend, at his own room in their mansion. They paid for a car, clothes, even grad school. Meanwhile, his actual family thought he had a weekend hotel job. They were so broken, Brett explained, and they needed a son. I needed money. Linda was sobbing. You've been someone else's son every weekend? He pulled out his phone, showed us photos. Brett at country clubs, on yachts, at galas, with parents, Sandra and Richard. Different haircut, different name. They called him Christopher. Do they know Christopher is dead? Linda asked. They know, but they pretend I'm him. We all know we're pretending, but nobody says it. The arrangement had worked until Sandra found our address in Brett's jacket and decided to surprise Christopher at his hotel job. She was arriving in an hour. The doorbell rang. Sandra stood there, elegant and desperate, holding a birthday cake. I know Christopher's birthday isn't until next month, but I couldn't wait. Christopher had been dead for 6 years. She was celebrating a ghost's birthday. Brett tried to juggle both mothers. Sandra in the living room, Linda in the kitchen, running back and forth with different personalities. Christopher was refined and called her mother. Brett was casual and called her mom. I watched this insane performance for an hour before Sandra noticed family photos on our fridge. Brett with Linda. Brett's actual childhood. Who's this woman with you? My landlady. Linda heard that from the kitchen and stormed out. Landlady? The two mothers faced each other. Sandra confused, Linda furious. I'm his actual mother, Linda announced. That's impossible. I'm Christopher's mother. His name is Brett. His name is Christopher. They both turned to him. He stood there sweating, caught between two identities. Brett broke down. I'm not Christopher. I'm Brett. Your son died 6 years ago. I'm so sorry. Sandra didn't faint or scream. She just sat down slowly. I know, she whispered. Of course I know, but you look so much like him. And when you're there, it's like he never left. Linda's anger evaporated. She saw a grieving mother who'd been pretending her son was alive. Sandra explained through tears. Christopher's death, meeting Brett, the slow slide from visiting to pretending to complete delusion. Richard and I knew it was wrong, but Brett gave us our son back, even if it was a lie. I gave them comfort, Brett said, and they gave me opportunities. You took money from grieving parents, I pointed out. They offered. They begged me to take it. Sandra stood up. We should go. Richard's waiting in the car. She left the cake. Christopher's name in blue frosting. After she left, Linda sat with the cake. You've been living their son's life. And my own. That's the problem. You can't be two people. But he'd been doing exactly that. Brett during the week, struggling grad student. Christopher on weekends, heir to a fortune. 2 phones, 2 wardrobes, 2 complete identities. The truth came out gradually. The wealthy family friends who'd been told Christopher survived with amnesia. The girlfriend who thought she was dating Christopher. The company internship under Christopher's name. Brett was literally living as a dead person half the time. It fell apart when Sandra and Richard finally accepted their son was gone. They held a real funeral, 6 years late. Brett attended as himself. They left him the trust fund anyway, for giving us 6 more years with our son. Brett graduated using that money, but he can't shake the guilt. He visits Sandra and Richard, but as Brett now. They show him Christopher's photos. He looks at his dead doppelganger and wonders who he really is. Linda never forgave him completely. I lost my son every weekend for 6 years. He just wasn't dead. I moved out. It was too weird knowing my roommate was professionally haunting a family as their deceased son. Brett still has 2 phones. One gets text from Sandra. Christopher would have loved this restaurant. He always responds, I'm sure he would have. The wealthy parents still pay for things, but now they call him Brett. They've adopted him in a way, not legally, but emotionally. He's not their son, but he's something. A living memorial to Christopher. Last I heard, he was in therapy trying to figure out who Brett really is when he spent 6 years being Christopher every weekend. His therapist says it's the strangest case of identity crisis she's ever seen. The birthday cake sat in our freezer for months. Neither of us could throw it away. A cake for a dead boy bought by his mother, given to his imposter. It felt too symbolic to trash.